What is going on, Toilet Tribe? We are back at you tonight again with another 2022 off-season review show. Tonight, as you could tell by the backgrounds, we are discussing the Philadelphia Eagles. With me tonight, as always, is my brother from another mother, Mr. Nino. Nino, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm just ready to dive into some Eagles and talk about my boy Jalen Hurts.
Also joining us tonight, we have Miss Raichele. Miss Raichele, how are you doing, ma'am?
Excellent. Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming on. We're glad to have you here. And also with us is Mr. Hutchinson. Mr. Hutchinson Brown, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great, yeah. Excited to talk some Eagles. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it is. So let's just get right into this. Hutchinson, we'll start with you first. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're going to do ladies first. Miss Raichele, how did you become an Eagles fan? I'm sorry. You are the official first woman we've had on doing these shows, so I have to go to the young lady first.
Okay.
How did you become an Eagles fan?
Yeah, so I've been covering the Eagles for a little over a year now. I'm actually from Annapolis, Maryland, so I grew up a Ravens fan. But I do have family members, a lot of people in my life who actually are fans, have always been fans, and who isn't familiar with the Eagles fan base. So it's kind of always just been there. So when this opportunity opened up, it was a no-brainer for me to apply for it because I was like, this franchise, like alone, one is historic, and the fact that the fan base is so fun. I was just like, why wouldn't I want to cover this team?
It's a rowdy, notorious fan base. Like they booed Santa at one point. Like I know everybody goes back to that, but like if you're an opposing fan, like let's say somebody else from the NFC, do you even bother going to the Eagles games when they're in town?
No.
I don't think I would.
Nah.
No, you're risking your life going that. You're risking your life going there.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
you're asking to get in a fight.
Yep.
Oh, that's so bad. Like, I mean, I guess it's a great home field advantage, though. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hutch, I'm gonna throw this to you. How about you? How did you become an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I first became an Eagles fan when I was about like 12, 13 years old. So I'm 16 now, just for reference. And I got into it because all my cousins and especially my grandfather, he was a big Eagles fan. And we just love watching the games together. I just got into football and got into the Eagles.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Go ahead, Nino. You want to say something?
No, I just said nice. It's nice to see the different, ways people got into being a fan, It's cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Hutch, now I'm going to go to this one to you. What went right? What went wrong for the Eagles in 2021?
Man, I mean, in 2021 specifically, there's the what they did right is they found their run game. They've just found an amazing run game with the Eagles. I mean, Jalen Hurts opened up so many run lanes this year. The offensive line was unbelievable. And their young guys started to step up a little bit in a way we haven't seen in the past couple of years. And it was just amazing. It was an amazing run game that they put together this season. And it was just so great to see that. But what really went wrong was that, Jalen Hurts was just bad. I mean, he just played horrible as a passer. I mean, you look at the stats, especially in the first and the second half, he got a little bit better as he played through that injury. But in the first half, in those first 8 to 10 games, it was horrific. I mean, it was nothing less than horrific. It was horrible to watch him play. His deep ball was always off. It was never in the right direction. And the receiving core just didn't really help him out either. I mean, Devonta Smith, I think he's supremely talented, but he was a rookie last year. You can't really blame him for what he was doing. I mean, he was trying to step up to be the number one receiver as a rookie, and that's really hard to do. So I really think that the Eagles went wrong last year. It was just Jalen Hurts and his struggles as a passer last year.
Raichele, do you agree, disagree? What you got going on over there?
As far as what went right, I definitely agree. The fact that the team was able to adjust, like I think that speaks volumes. The fact that Nick Sirianni in his first year as head coach, he saw what was not working for the team and he made that decision to lean on the run game. I think that that's
Absolutely,
important and that speaks volumes to the coach. And as far as like what went wrong, definitely Jalen Hurts for sure. But I also am gonna have to say like Jonathan Gannon and like the defensive scheme side of the ball. He just didn't really get creative. I feel like everything was pretty bland for the most part. Like the fact that the Eagles weren't really putting too much pressure on like their opposing quarterbacks. Like they weren't really getting any sacks. Like I think they were like ranked like 31st when it came to like sacks. That's disappointing. And so that falls on Jonathan Gannon. Of course, this year he has no excuse because of all of the additions that were made this off season. But last year, I think what went wrong was his inability to pretty much like switch things up. And he saw what was not working and make those adjustments. So Jonathan Gannon is what went wrong.
Yeah, the Eagles were just like, you watched every game. They were never able to put pressure on the quarterback. He always had time back there in the pocket. Oh, go ahead.
What's that? All right. Well, I was gonna say, you had mentioned about the sacks. I think they had less than 30 sacks as a team last year. That's
it says they were ranked under 5%, 31st in the NFL.
That needs to change. They definitely need to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I think they filled a couple of them holes this year. So
they definitely did.
Yes.
George, take it away, my man. I don't know if George is. George
looking like he's freezing a little bit.
All right.
I'm having internet issues. I'm not sure if it's connected.
Yeah, you're just fading in and out.
Yeah, he's going in and out.
We're gonna just keep it rolling. They had a busy offseason, like we were speaking about before. They re-signed Jason Kelsey to a 1-year deal. They signed Hassan Reddick to a 3-year deal, and they also signed Anthony Harris to a 1-year deal. What are your thoughts on those 3 signings?
I honestly really like. Jason Kelsey, one of the best centers in the NFL today. Huge piece of this offensive line. They just need him. They 100% need him, and they developed the rookie they drafted, I believe, in the second round behind him.
Cam
Jurgens. Yeah, I feel like they want to sit back with him for a year, develop him, let Jason Kelsey mentor him a little bit, and then when Jason Kelsey possibly retires next year, let him step in and take over. So I love that signing. And then Hassan Reddick, just a very underrated player in the NFL. He brings a lot of pressure to the quarterbacks, which obviously, as we talked about, the Eagles did not do last season. Hassan Reddick's going to change that. And then Anthony Harris to 1 year. They just need safety so bad.
Yes.
I signed somebody, please. They just needed him really bad.
Yeah.
So
they got those cornerbacks now. They got them.
They do, yeah.
Dogs, man. They got them lockdowns. They got Slay and Bradberry, which is crazy that Bradberry just said, you know what, you guys, I'm out. See you later. I'm going to Philly. So
we're not complaining.
Yeah,
He's
no.
really, really good in training camp also. So
and I also really also like the Avonte Maddox signing. I think it was more during the season, but when they put him in the slot, he's good. I love Avonte Maddox in the slot. He's a great slot corner. He's not meant to be on the outside, but he's meant to. When you put him in the slot, he can do some damage. I really like that. So I like that 3-year deal for him as well. Just to add that.
But I did notice that you guys have obviously you drafted Jordan Davis, but you have a veteran in Fletcher Cox to mentor him this year, which is huge.
Yeah,
for
it's
a rookie
huge.
coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. Fletcher Cox had a historic career, might be a Hall of Famer. Like, this dude's an absolute stud. Like, Jordan Davis is gonna have a great mentor there.
Yeah. And just the fact that I'm looking forward to seeing Jordan Davis get those reps because as much of a talented player and a legend we know that Fletcher Cox is, if we look back at last season, he didn't perform his best. And I think that, he's getting older, so we should be expecting that transition, towards the end of his career. So, him working with Jordan Davis, who's already like a beast, definitely probably one of my favorite draft picks so far, like from the Eagles 2022 draft. I can't wait to see just what he continues to develop in under the leadership of some of these veteran players.
He is a very, very large man.
Yes.
He was isn't he like 340 pounds? He ran like a 4.6.
I think it's higher than 340.
6'6", something like that.
Yeah.
And he ran like a 4.6 40, which
he
is
can boogie. He got wheels. He can boogie.
Makes no sense. He's so
makes no sense.
Freak athlete, and it's great that he's getting mentored by that guy.
A unicorn. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I do a show with my co-host Jared, and he's big on Kezia White, who came over from the Chargers.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that they're going to pair him with TJ Edwards, who just had 125 tackles himself. I feel your linebacker core is underrated. What do you guys think about that? Talked about it.
I mean, I'm excited for it. Even looking at like Nicole B Dean, I mean, he hasn't been doing too much in training camp so far from what I've been reading, but we saw what he did with Jordan Davis at Georgia. So I think that that's definitely someone who we're going to be looking for when we think about like impact. But yeah, we definitely have some talented linebackers to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of underrated players, a lot of potential in this linebacking core. But last year, it was kind of TJ Edwards or bust last year. That's why he was making all the tackles. So outside of TJ Edwards was bad, and we brought in a few extra players. I mean, Hassan Rick can even play some linebacker if you put him out there. He can play back there. So I really like the linebacking core this year. I think it's definitely much, much upgraded. And it's finally great to see the Eagles are making some investments in that linebacking core because they've proven that they do not want to for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, who's going to wear the green dot? Will it be White or will it be Edwards?
That's interesting. I would bet on Edwards.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. I know he had a year last year, but Kazir White is a dog, so I wasn't sure if he was going to take that away.
I would bet on Edwards still, but
right.
White, it'll definitely be a competition for it.
Which is good. Now, we want to see a competition.
I'm a big fan of this gentleman, and I get knocked in the group a lot about him, but you guys traded early in the draft. You got AJ Brown.
Yes.
How did you feel when it happened? Both of your reactions to it, and what are your expectations now that he's with his BFF? I can't wait.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Like, I wasn't expecting the trade. It definitely shocked me that night when it happened, but he's an impact player. And I think when we're looking at like the Eagles wide receiver core and like their history, he's probably like one of the most accomplished wide receivers that the Eagles have had since 2004, maybe Terrell Owens. So I think he has that ability to like reach that ceiling. He's definitely established himself in the league already when it comes to like the deep ball and his threat. And I mean, he's with Jalen Hurts, who is his best friend. So the chemistry should be there. The timing should be there. Like, there's no excuse for them not to be on, the same page. So I think that he has extremely high ceiling. I think if anything, it's going to fall more so on like Jalen Hurts to make sure that he's making those necessary improvements. But I'm confident that AJ Brown, if healthy, is going to be able to definitely be an impact player for this team and help this wide receiver core in Dallas Goedert.
And he cut the hair. He cut the hair now. He's back to the show. It's refreshed. He's ready to go, And he's healthy. From what I hear out of camp, he is as healthy as he's been in 2 years. So
yeah,
AJ Brown is just, outside of like DK Metcalf, I think he's honestly the freakiest athlete wide receiver in the NFL. This dude is an absolute monster. He can run so fast, make moves. I mean, there was a touchdown he scored against the Ravens where he was just carrying people on his back, and that was one of the most physical plays I've ever seen in football, ever. Like, I've seen a lot of highlight plays and the most physical, crazy stiff arms. Like, that was unbelievable.
Well, he learned from AJ Brown.
It was like Derrick Henry level, and he was on the same team at that time. Yeah. And I think he just helps this offense so much because he brings that alpha number one to distract the number one corner. And then you got Devonta Smith right next to him. Yep. Just a guy who is an unbelievable route runner, going to get open. He's fast. Like, this is just going to be a scary duo with the Thunder, with AJ Brown, the Lightning, with Devonta Smith. And then you got Dallas Goedert, tight end, very solid there.
Yep.
Nice. What is the wide receiver 3? Is it Quentin?
I would bet on Quez Watkins.
Quez Watkins.
Jalen Reagor is. I don't know if he'll make the roster.
He said, "Please don't, please no, please no."
I'm gonna try to flip him. I mean, former first rounder, he has never performed. And I heard out of camp, he's still having trouble again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard from a lot of reports saying that he might not make the roster. He's competing for a roster spot right now.
He should be.
Yeah, that's what it should be. Based on how he performed, that's where it should be.
Pascal is someone who's like,
Pascal could be the 3. I think it's either Pascal or Watkins. I bet on Watkins though.
Jalen Reagor was as big a flop as my Patriots drafting N'Keal Harry.
But here's the thing: he's going to get a chance somewhere because he's got that first round draft capital. So even if he doesn't make the Eagles, somebody will pick him up and he'll go play somewhere. It's unfortunate because you get guys who are like 4th, 5th, 6th round, 7th round draft picks. They don't get those opportunities again if they don't show out immediately. they're cut, they're done. And these guys who come in like N'Keal Harry, Kevin White, they get opportunity after opportunity just because of the capital that was associated with them when they got drafted.
Yeah, I mean the Bears just gave up some. I mean it was very late draft capital, but they gave up, they traded for N'Keal Harry. I mean the Bears just traded for N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Crazy. Now I wanted to ask, I get knocked a lot when I hype up AJ Brown. I'll stand on the hill and die for him because I believe in him. But he came from a run dependent team and now he's going to the number one run dependent team last year. But Sirianni's come out and said, and I don't know if people need to clean the ears or whatever. He said they want to pass the ball.
Yeah.
He's been adamant about that too.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts really takes a step, because the thing is that I don't feel like many people realize they started as a pass heavy team last year.
Yep.
Like they started pretty pass heavy and they realized, oh crap, Jalen Hurts sucks at throwing the ball. Yep. We got to run. Yep. And I feel like bringing in a stud wide receiver in AJ Brown just shows how much they want to throw the ball. They're not going to bring in AJ Brown to not use him. They're not going to let Devonta Smith step into his second season breakout not to use him. They're going to use these guys, make them relevant pieces. And if they're going to make them that relevant, they're going to have to pass a lot. Because at the point they were at, especially in the last 6 games, they were averaging under 20 pass attempts a game. You can't give 8 targets and 6 targets to AJ Brown and Devonta Smith if you're passing 20 times a game. That just can't happen. Right. That's too much target share going to those 2 guys. You got to pass a lot. I expect near 30 pass attempts a game this season at Jalen Hurts. And if he's performing and he's performing well, I can see them going higher.
Got those picks. Got those picks in the bag. And you can add to it. Add to it. That's why I tell everybody you can add to it. Why can't you see if he got him to the playoffs last year? Everybody says, they run the ball. Miles Sanders had 0 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell had 4 or 5 touchdowns? It was Jordan Howard was which is terrible. I'm sorry. He was the guy scoring touchdowns for you, I mean, so they were a run-dependent team, but they weren't really helping out Hurts.
He was doing it.
No.
Granted, under 30 yards, over 30 yards, the ball was like a duck. So that was his problem, But if he just keeps it short and sweet, lets his receivers do his thing, I think he's going to have a good year.
Yeah, Devonta Smith is a very fast wide receiver. He can make moves. And AJ Brown, obviously, talked about early physical monster, yards after catch monster. Both of those guys can make great yards after catch plays. So if you want to do some shorter passes, get them the ball, see what they can do in space, go for it because that'll absolutely work.
Slim Reaper's going to be going against cornerback number 2, not number 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a problem. He was a problem against number 1 corners last year. He was a problem. He got open a lot against some big-time name corners. Imagine him against number 2 guys. It's scary.
George, we're back. You can take it away. You're the maestro.
No, dude, you're running the show, man. Go right ahead. You're fantastic. This is why I do the shows with you, because when my Wi-Fi shits the bed on me, I got Nino here, and I know if I gotta step out, he's got the show. He's got this, no doubt. Let's talk a little. I was gonna say let's move over to the draft because we'll go back to talk a little bit more about Hurts and Brown and Smith and all that. But the Eagles, in my opinion, had one of the best drafts in the NFL. They drafted Jordan Davis with the 13th overall. They traded the 18th for AJ Brown. Cam Jurgens, the center, which I love that pick. He'll get to sit behind Kelsey for maybe a year, possibly 2, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be 1 year. Nicole B Dean, who I believe is the best linebacker in this draft, and they got him as a steal in the 3rd round. And then a couple of guys later on in the 6th round, Kyron Johnson and Grant. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So what did you guys think about the draft? I thought the Eagles overall had a fantastic draft.
I said, job well done, Howie Roseman. I think he did a phenomenal job reading the room. If you look at his track record and some of the stuff that he's done in the past, just not addressing areas that need to be addressed. And I think he did a phenomenal job. Of course, immediately after the draft, it was still the concern, what about the secondary? Because he didn't address that in the draft. But I think he made up for it in free agency, with those signings. But looking at the draft alone, I definitely gave it the A- because, like I said, he hadn't addressed the secondary, but he made up those points later on. But everybody who you already named, Cam Jurgens, especially the center, we're seeing how he can be a versatile player. maybe getting those reps with guard and center or whatever. And then we already know what Jordan Davis is. We already talked about Nicole B Dean as well. So I think Howie Roseman did a really, really good job just filling in the necessary holes that the Eagles roster had.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Hutch. Go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, she described everything perfectly. I mean, I don't know what else to add here. I mean, they knew what they needed to do, and they fixed teams. I mean, they fixed team needs. I mean, wide receiver, they knew they needed one, and they drafted AJ. I mean, they traded for AJ Brown. Boom, got that done. Drafted Jordan Davis. They were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year, as we talked about earlier, in pressure of the quarterback, and their run game got ripped apart a lot last year. We loved playing. I'm a bit of a fantasy guy, so we loved playing our fantasy running backs against the Eagles. Like that was a thing we loved in 2021. And they got Jordan Davis, a guy who's going to interrupt things on the destroy things on the inside. He's a big body that's going to tackle, just break through the offensive line, get that running back and get the quarterback. And then Cam Jordan center, sit behind Jason Kelsey for a bit, and Nicole B Dean, Karen Johnson, just trying to address that linebacker core, get some depth there, which is really, really great. So Howie Roseman knew what we needed. He filled the spots, and he just did a great job.
Now, you had said, an A-, because they didn't go after the cornerback. But now I feel if they had took a cornerback at the position where they took Dean, I feel your draft would have changed. I feel and I think the grade would have changed tremendously to like a B to a B-. So I think you got to give Howie a straight A because he didn't overpay. He didn't get nervous and jump, and he had a backup plan, and he went out and got a stud in Bradberry.
And he invests in his draft capital. One thing you have to give credit to with Howie Roseman, a lot of these other general managers do not do, but he showed us this year that draft capital for the future is important. And so the fact that the Eagles are already set up for 2023 and years to come, that's also important. So yeah, I think A is fair.
I think A- is a fair grade. I wanted them to when they did not take Nicole B Dean in the second round. I was very upset. I was really hoping for Nicole B Dean in round 2, and then he fell to round 3. I was like, oh shoot, we got Nicole B Dean in round 3.
Yeah,
that was just when I saw him fall. I was like, are you gotta be joking?
Yeah.
But I really wanted him around 2, but then he fell all the way.
I heard they wanted Burks. But obviously Brown was available. But I would rather have Brown. You got the connection.
I'd much rather have Brown. Yeah,
he's experienced already, and he's an alpha. You know what I mean? So it's interesting though because Treylon Burks, I think he could be the best wide receiver in this class. I absolutely love Burks, and he's very similar to AJ Brown. He's AJ Brown, but the money. It was a bag issue. It's all about the money.
Yeah, because you got to pay AJ Brown like $25 million a year. Treylon Burks, you got him on a rookie deal, and if he really starts to go out early, that's a great value. But I think I'd rather still have AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I'd rather have AJ Brown 100% because now you're starting from round 0.
Even with the pay, even with all that, I'd still rather take Brown.
I draw a lot of comparisons for the Eagles and I'm a Dolphins fan, and I look at those two teams as very similar. They both went out this offseason, drafted heavy in traded for wide receivers. They both invested in the future. They both did have 2 draft picks next year. We all know what happened by now about Miami. A little tampering, just a little bit. But I love the fact that you brought up that the Eagles not only killed this draft, but they also looked at the future and invested in the future as well.
Yeah.
Because if Jalen Hurts is not the answer for this team, having 2 first-round draft picks next year and what appears to be a quarterback-heavy draft,
will
be extremely valuable to move up, but it also gives you the flexibility where if you need to trade for a veteran quarterback, you have the ammunition to do that without sacrificing, your 2024, your 2025 draft classes. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely love the fact that you brought up the draft capital that they have, not just for what they spent this year, but what they got for next year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like they absolutely fleeced the Saints in that trade. That was when I saw that trade come out, I was like, what were the Saints doing? Like, what was that trade? Because now they got 22, 23 first. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, they can easily trade up and get that guy at quarterback. I mean, there's so many good quarterbacks in this class. I absolutely love this quarterback class. There's a lot of great ones. So Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, they could absolutely do that. And yeah, they've got a lot of flexibility here. Because honestly, I could see them if Jalen Hurts really takes a step up, I could see them competing for the NFC this year. And they have 223 firsts.
Let's talk about it. Well, yeah.
They have 223 firsts, and they could be competing for the NFC this year. So I really like the Eagles and where they're set up.
I have them coming out of their division. Sorry, coach. I know you're a Cowboys fan, but I have them coming out.
I do too.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning.
I mean, so in reality, I'm not trying to deflect off the notes, George, but we're rolling it.
No, the notes are reference. Go for it.
So,
go for it.
All right, NFC. It's not really too powerful this year. You know, you got Rams, Bucks, 49ers, and then what? Cowboys, Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you guys win a division.
For the AFC,
possibly get a bye.
The AFC has 4 teams in the same division that could all make the playoffs this year.
Never gonna happen.
Well,
I agree, but it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. No, they're gonna penalize each other.
I mean, just logically, it can't happen because of 3 extra flex spots for the playoffs. The division winner and all 3 of them get the good enough record, they can all make the playoffs. So it could happen, but since they're all playing against each other, they're probably gonna have a lot of losses there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They play each other twice, so every team. So that's where it's gonna get down to nitty gritty. So
yeah, but the NFC is definitely a lot weaker than the AFC this year, especially when you look at quarterbacks.
Yes.
Like the AFC is absolutely loaded with all the quarterbacks, especially the younger talent. And the NFC is like, I mean, Jalen Hurts, even with his bad 2021 season, could be considered a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
So
you could actually consider him as
this hot take, and all my friends at home and follow me on Twitter will rip me because I'm ready for it. But I'm gonna go out and say Jalen Hurts over Trey Lance. Put on the board.
Okay. All right.
I like that. I'm a big Trey Lance guy.
Argue.
You know, so I think Hurts. I got Hurts in 8 in my out of top 10. He's number 8 for me this year. So
okay.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, Hurts has the weapons. He has the opportunity. He just got to go get it. That's it. I
mean, he supposedly was working out in California this offseason, so we need him to show us
with AJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the time is now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the time is now. All right, George, you can go back to script. I'm sorry.
No, dude. We don't have to go by the notes. They're there just in case if we need questions. You guys are crushing this. I'm just sitting back like this. Like, I'll go for it. This is fantastic. You don't need me on this. Go for it, Nino. Take it.
All right, then let's talk about that run game because Mr. Miles, I can't score a touchdown. Sanders is about to lose his job. I feel Gainwell. All right.
But it's exciting to see because we know Gainwell is younger, and when you're looking at like short passes, like the ability to catch the ball, I think that there's more upside when looking at Kenny Gainwell compared to like Miles Sanders, who we're not too confident in, especially when it comes to like those fumbles. So I think that this is a really good opportunity. The fact that Miles Sanders has been running with the 2s in training camp, Kenny Gainwell has been running with the 1s in training camp. Like, why not give him that opportunity? Like, you guys drafted him, see what he can do. Miles Sanders I don't know how old he is. You guys know?
I believe
he's 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think he's 25 or 26. He's not 27.
Okay.
He's not 27 yet. He's still in his rookie time. He's 25.
Yeah.
He just turned 25.
I liked Kenny Gainwell last year. Like, a lot.
He's better than Gibson coming out.
Kenny Gainwell was awesome. Yeah. Kenny Gainwell was amazing. Yeah, he's spectacular. But the problem is, there was an interview Nick Sirianni after that report that Kenny Gainwell was taking reps with the 1s. There was an interview that they were rotating everybody around, and then it ended up Miles Sanders just got some extra 2 reps today. And it didn't really mean to happen that way. And he said Sanders is our guy and he's our number 1. So it is interesting to see that from Nick Sirianni, see the training camp reps and then see that from him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Gainwell could really take over the backfield because, I mean, he's 5'9", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, he's a small dude. He is not built for a lead running back role in the NFL. Running backs get beat up in the NFL.
Pounds, so he's got that 200 pounds. He's like a little,
Yeah, 200 pounds is not enough for a running back in the NFL. You got to be at least like 210, 215 if you want a lead role in the NFL, and that's pretty low, honestly. I prefer running back to be like 220.
If he was 215 at 5'9", he'd be a meatball. So
yeah, 5'9", yeah. Yeah, like he's like, I mean, I don't think he's just physically not built for that role. So I just don't think the Eagles are ever to give it to him. Mm-hmm. So I still think Sanders will be the number 1 this year, but I want to see Gainwell with more work this year. I think he deserves it when he showed what he can do in the week 1 against Atlanta and in flashes at times during the season. He's good. He's a good player. He's very explosive, great pass catcher. I love Kenneth Gainwell. Hope that he can absolutely take a good role this year.
Kennedy Brooks, the mad scientist, because I see him with his glasses on all the time. Is he going to take over the Jordan Howard role?
No, I don't think he's like that kind of. They're two very different backs. I see Sanders and Scott kind of like splitting the rush attempts more. Sanders obviously getting a bit more of a lead role, and then I see Kenneth Gainwell getting more of a pass catching role out of the backfield. That's kind of see this backfield breaking down this year.
So you don't see any Brooks at all? Kennedy Brooks coming in there and
that's the
being a goal line.
Yeah, I don't see him coming in.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, where we want to go next, guys?
So
yeah, Joe.
I want you guys to rank the wide receiver duo of Adrien Brown and Devonta Smith. Like, where would you have that duo of wide receivers in the NFL?
They're up
top
there.
5, top 10.
I'm gonna go top 5.
Ooh,
top 5.
I'm gonna go top 5.
They're definitely top 5. They're definitely top 5.
You got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, right?
Yep.
That's one. Dolphins. Who else we got?
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is number 1.
Cincinnati. And
Okay.
then I would say
Well,
the
yeah.
Rams, right? With Robinson and Cup.
Ooh, Robinson and Cup.
Right,
Robinson's interesting though.
Robinson quit for 2 years. Everybody says, "Oh, his numbers."
Yeah.
He quit. He didn't want to be there. So
He didn't want to be there. He did not want to play on that contract last year.
You got the Bengals.
He
You
took
got
the
the
season
Buccaneers. You got the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. That's good.
Yep, that's okay.
The Raiders. The Raiders with Adams and Renfro. Those two are. I mean, I think honestly, those two are arguably the best two route runners in the
had
NFL.
year. One.
Yeah, I can't put as good as Devonta Adams is. I can't put him and Renfro above AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. I can't do that.
No, I'm not putting them above them. I still have Smith and Brown above them. I'm just shouting out names to consider.
That's why I was like, I was just throwing out the names.
Yeah, I'm thinking top 5 sounds about right. Like that's
top 5, top 3. Yeah, I think they're nearing top 3.
And then-
because I think Chase and
That's good.
Chase and Higgins ahead of them at 1.
That's good.
And I think
Miami
Evans
2.
and Godwin.
Oh.
And then I think Hill and Waddle at 3, and then I think Smith and Brown are right there.
Yeah.
At 4. I think that's where I'd get them.
All right.
yeah, no
Godwin's
argument for
healthy.
me.
I'd have him up there, but Godwin.
Yeah,
I
Godwin's
don't
not
know.
healthy. That's the problem. I would assume when they're healthy. This year, I think I'd still take Smith and Brown because Godwin's not healthy.
It hurts me to say that the Dolphins have the number 2 wide receiver duo. It hurts for me to say that.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what it is. So,
It's true.
But they are, man. Like that.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be so dangerous. The speed with those two. Tyreek Hill, obviously one of the fastest receivers to ever play the game, one of the best deep threats to ever play the game. And then you got Jalen Waddle, a very young, just very fast on his feet wide receiver. That's just so scary.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because you know how that was one of the biggest storylines, seeing Tyreek Hill go to Miami, and everybody was talking about who's gonna feel it more. Is it going to be Tyreek Hill, or is it going to be Patrick Mahomes? So what would you guys say?
Mahomes
Who's going to feel the impact that they're?
Oh, I think it's gonna be Mahomes. Yeah,
Mahomes.
I think
100%.
more.
Okay.
He wasn't hitting Tyreek Hill in stride. He was throwing the ball to a spot and telling homeboy go get it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think Mahomes. I think Mahomes is a great quarterback. I think Mahomes is still great, but I think we see a little bit more of a Mahomes fall back to earth a little bit, honestly.
Okay.
Right, without Tyreek Hill, and we've seen Tyreek Hill put up unbelievable numbers with Alex Smith. He's put up numbers with middle end quarterback play. He can do it with Tua. He's gonna be fine. I think Hill will be fine, but I think definitely
Waddle over Reek. Waddle has better numbers this year than Tyreek.
Okay, I'm gonna watch.
Nino, you and your hot takes. Woo.
I'm telling you.
Have you
Rookie with
tweeted
100
that?
receptions, a rookie with 100 receptions, and now you put a guy that's going to give him one-on-one coverage against the 2, and your boy can't throw to the right side of the field, and Waddle's been lined up.
I'm saying that he can throw to the right side of the field.
On the left, the whole camp, Waddle is going to blow up.
Okay.
Russell had a question. He said they faded out fullback. Is halfback next for more teams? Seen most teams run 2 running backs. Do you think the Eagles will run a lot of 2 running back sets with both Gainwell and Miles Sanders?
That's It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I
They
don't
would
know.
have to go
because-
RPO that way. That would be
Yeah,
the only way.
you'd have to do that because the thing is, like, they have, they have Smith and Brown and Goddard and Watkins. Like, I feel like they're gonna want to have those guys on field a lot. I feel like it's gonna end up being Miles Sanders, Boston Scott in early downs, and Kenneth Gainwell on third down for that pass catching mark. I feel like that's how it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna do too many 2 RB sets.
Especially knowing what Jalen Hurts does, like I don't think they need to do that.
Yeah, they don't need to have the threat of multiple running backs because they already have one running back on the
They
field.
have
at all
multiple
times,
running
their
backs. Quarterback and
They always do.
and the running back. So it's always
Yeah, they always do. The quarterback Jalen Hurts is always a threat to run for like 5-10 yards if he wants to. So they don't need a second running back.
They literally hold the linebacker at will every time Hurts is on the field. So
yeah, you have
They
to
have
spying on.
So what concerns, and you're not allowed to say Jalen Hurts. What concerns do you guys have for the Eagles going into this season? No, listen, you're not getting a layup on that one. Jalen Hurts is way too easy of an answer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I already talked about this. The only other major concern is Jonathan Gannon. Outside of Jalen Hurts, you cannot tell me that with all of these off-season additions on the defensive side of the ball, you can't get creative with your defensive fronts. That will be a concern. He needs to lose his job if he cannot get creative this season. So I think outside of Jalen Hurts, the pressure is on for Jonathan Gannon, but we all know that. So that would be my answer.
Yeah, I want to talk about a piece that we actually have complimented all game. I mean, all episode here. I want to talk about the Eagles running backs. Honestly, I mean, Sanders has not been able to stay healthy ever. Mm-hmm. And we got rid of Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard's gone, I believe, this offseason, right? Yep. He's been let go.
We'll bring him back. Don't worry.
Gainwell and Boston Scott are both very small backs. I mean, what if these guys start getting hurt and banged up? Like, they don't have anybody else. Mm-hmm. Like, what if these guys start getting banged up? Like, that's going to be a problem. And if Jalen Hurts, as a quarterback, doesn't have his run game next to him, that's going to be a problem. So I feel like the running backs and their health concerns are definitely a concern for me. But I think Jonathan Gannon, that defense is the biggest concern. If he plays boring defense again, that is going to be a huge problem because he has so many versatile pieces here. You got to move Hassan Reddick and Nicole B Dean. I want to see those two all over the field. Mm-hmm. I want to see those two I want to see those two moving all around the field. I want to see both of them used kind of like Micah Parsons, sometimes a linebacker, sometimes even at safety. Nicole B Dean can play safety. I want to see them all over the field being used everywhere.
I like that.
Yeah, so let me ask you. Stunting Brandon Graham. Stunt Brandon Graham and Derek Barnett and let some lanes open up for these guys now, you know?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. If the Eagles have the second easiest schedule, according to Sharp Football Analysis, if the team gets off to a slow start, how quick will that fan base turn on the team?
As in the Eagles fan base?
Yeah.
The Eagles will, if they start like 1-4, I feel like the Eagles fans will be begging for Gardner Minshew,
which is
ridiculous.
Right?
They will.
Yeah,
they will. The Eagles, if Jalen Hurts struggles and they have a bad start, the Eagles fans will be begging for Gardner Minshew to start.
2-4, and they're going to be putting up, the mustache. All the pictures are going to be up.
Yeah. And I mean, Gardner Minshew one game he started.
No, please, no.
I don't want it.
Just look at his one game with the Jets. I mean, he put up he dominated in that game.
Yeah.
He put up he had a great win. And it was the Jets, but still,
everybody dominated against the Jets.
Everyone dominated against the Jets, but I mean, he still looked awesome compared to Jalen Hurts and what he had done at that point in the season. Gardner Minshew looked awesome.
And there was no tape on him.
And some people wanted him to start over Jalen Hurts for the rest of the season. And I think if the Eagles start off like 1-4 or like 2-5 or something like that, like they are going to want to start.
Move.
Carson Strong.
Not Carson
can't
Strong.
Move. His knees are junk. His knees are worse than Julio's hammies.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Not Carson Strong, man. Not Carson Strong.
That's a no.
He was a great college quarterback.
They said he's like a statue, like literally. We don't need that.
No, that's the opposite of what you guys need. That guy's a statue.
Yeah, nah.
All right, so can you guys give me a end of season record for the Eagles and where they finish within their division?
I'm gonna go with. I actually made. Okay, I have a bit of a story behind this. I'll try to stay as quick as possible.
Now,
So,
story time. Let's go.
a little bit of story.
Let's
So, my girlfriend Alex, she was at a family event. I believe it was a baby shower, and she like called me up and she was like, "Hey, I want you to meet some members of my family on FaceTime." So she went around, met a bunch of members of her family. One of her uncles, the guy who the baby shower was for, he was a Cowboys fan. So he's like, "I heard you're an Eagles fan, man." And I was like, "Yeah." So we made a bet. Okay. So here's the thing. I bet that the Eagles would finish 12-5 this season.
Okay.
And he said, if that does not, I said the Eagles will finish 12-5 and they'll win the division. He said, if that does happen, I'll pay you $50. All right. But if that does not happen, you have to take my niece to a very fancy restaurant, buy her dinner. I was like, that's a win-win either way for me. So
Yeah.
That's a great. That is a great. Yes.
I like that.
That's it. He made up that bet, and I was like, sure, win-win either way. I'll take that bet all day. Yeah. So yeah, that's the bet. So I'm predicting the Eagles.
He's a smart man. He's a smart man.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got the Eagles going 12-5 this season, taking the division in first place.
I agree with you 100%. I've been saying 12.
I'm with it. I said 12 last week, but I'm borderline like 12-5 or like 11-6. I mean, they had 9-8 last season, so I feel like you have to at least have 9-8. The roster
at least get 10.
At least
they should. They should. If they don't get 10, I feel like I will riot.
You got AJ.
We'll never get the end of this.
You got AJ. He's got to be good for one more dub.
Yeah.
And the Eagles' schedules look easy this year too.
Yeah, it's the second easiest in the NFL. Hutch, no offense to you. I hope you lose that bet. I hope they win 11 games. Just throwing that out there, okay? I want you to lose the bet. I want you to take this young lady to dinner.
Yeah, take her out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
If you win the bet, actually, no, I want you to win the bet. I want you to win the bet. I want you to take that $50 and still take her out.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. That's probably what I'll do.
He's taking her out either way.
Oh my God. Don't worry. We've done some amazing things together. But yeah, awesome. I'll take her out anyway. I probably will because that idea is awesome.
I believe it. But
see, that's what we do. We give young kids dating advice on this show.
Yeah, that's what we do on this show.
Family affair, you know?
I love this. This is awesome.
This is awesome.
I got one last question.
Go ahead.
For you two, give me one name that not everybody's talking about for people to look out for this year with the Eagles.
I'm gonna say James Bradberry.
Okay.
I feel like I had threw this out to somebody else, and it was kind of like what? But I feel like he's getting the reps right now with Adrien Brown. Like Darius Slay in practice and training camp has been like covering Devonta Smith. James Bradberry has been covering AJ Brown, and he's been doing some really good things in training camp. So I'm definitely going to say James Bradberry. I can see him being like an impact player.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about Quez Watkins here. Everyone wants to talk about Adrien Brown, Devonta Smith, the best duo in the league, blah, 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 blah. Quez Watkins, showed a lot of flashes last year as a very viable third wide receiver. He can stretch the field really great. And if Jalen Hurts fixes his deep ball at least a little bit, I think Quez Watkins can be a great field stretcher for this team. He's very quick, a small guy, very fast on his feet. I absolutely love Quez Watkins. I think he'd be a very valuable third receiver in this offense.
I know Sirianni liked him before camp. Before they even started OTAs, he was so excited. He's definitely a third, and he's going to get a lot more reps this year. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all the reports I've seen coming from Eagles camp on Twitter is he's been showing out. He's been flashing at camp, so that's a good call. Do you guys have any other questions? Is there anything you guys want to
plug yourself?
Ask?
Plug yourself, guys.
Well, I was going to get there, Nino.
Questions? I enjoyed the conversations today.
No, it was awesome.
I think you guys hit on everything.
All right, well, go ahead. Like Nina said, go ahead. Plug yourselves. Tell people where they can follow you, where they can support you, and all that. And of course, ladies first.
Okay. So I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at Raichele Monique. That's RaiChele Monique. And also, you can find my work on BGN Radio. You can follow us on Twitter at BGN_radio. You can follow us on Instagram at Bleed and Green Insta. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. We're doing some really good things over at BGN, putting out consistent work. So, head over and tune into all of that.
Awesome.
Hutch.
You guys can go follow me on Twitter at HutchinsonB_FF. It's right there on the stream there. You can see the handle there. And you can go follow me on TikTok at Hutchinson Brown. I'm a fantasy football analyst. I'm putting out fantasy football content constantly. Check out my podcast, Hutchinson Brown's Fantasy Football Perspective, pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found. I make videos for football guys on their YouTube channel. And I also write articles for Dynasty League Football, otherwise known as DLF. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It was fun, and it was good talking to the Eagles. Yeah,
Hutch, all that stuff you do, I'm just guaranteeing you're not doing any freaking homework, are you?
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You said you're 6.
He says, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm keeping the grades up. Don't worry. The grades are good. Don't worry. Grades are definitely first. But
we got Hutch in the Frankenstein this year too.
We do.
Yeah, I got Hutch in that. Yeah, we got me in there too. Yeah, I've got a few different.
Hutch and I are in the same.
We are, right?
Yeah, Hutch and I are in the same division for the Frankenstein. A little funny story.
Yeah.
Our first round. So the way we did this is we did paper, scissors, rock to determine the draft order.
Yeah.
My first round was up against Hutch, and I told him, "I'm throwing rock. Throw paper if you want to win." And I threw rock, and he threw paper, but I didn't know if he would actually believe me or not. I didn't know if he thought I was just trying to get in his head or what I was doing there.
I'm going to be honest, man. I completely forgot. I just threw paper because I thought everyone always starts with rock, paper, scissors, and I threw paper, and I won.
Nice.
The finale was so fun. The finale, though, I think I was in the semifinals of the finale. We had 3 straight ties in a row.
I kept going back and forth.
And then I ended up
like, hey,
and then I ended up losing in the end. But it was still very fun.
We'll have to get you in next year, Rochelle.
For sure.
Awesome.
All right, well, Nino, go ahead, wrap up the show, man. Get us out of here.
Oh, it was great doing the Eagles. You can follow us on Total Titles on the YouTube, on Twitter. Follow us on the Patreon, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's all the same, Total Titles. And, the Patreon is 5 tiers. The 5th tier is all about you. You get insight from all of us. You can pick a guy, and he'll help you out with your draft, analysts, anything you need. We got you. So, once again, it was great having both these, I'm going to say gentlemen, but I was wrong. Ladies and gentlemen on the show. She was the first one for the breakdown. It was lovely. Hutch, you also killed it.
Yes.
Georgie, fix that internet. But you're my
dude.
man.
I live in that village. I don't know what you want
It's
from
the
me.
internet, bro. Come on.
Right before we came on, I literally hooked up 2 Wi-Fi extenders, and my internet still went out on me.
I told you they're worse. They make it worse.
Those things don't help, man.
Well, you guys have a lovely
no.
night, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming on.
For sure. Thank you.